Okay, so we're gonna have to get this bucket off. I can't leave the machine sitting outside in front of the house. So here we are in front of this project now, which is to try to get this thing off. I think what we can do is figure out which pins we need to do. We got the engine crane buried back there, so if we need to, we can get into that. If we have to, we can strap this guy up. We don't have to take it off. Looks like it'll be good. So one of the things that's a problem is this shaft here got bent. So what's going on is that I can't unthread it because that's bent. So yeah, let's get started. Figure out what pins we gotta punch out. Okay, so I've got a game plan here. The game plan is I'm gonna take these two pins out, this one here and this one here. So I've got the thumb strapped up to there, and so technically if I detach from here and from here, then this whole apparatus will come up and out, and that'll leave this on here for us to focus on repairing this piece here. So we will have to disconnect some lines here. So I'm thinking I'll disconnect down in here, and that should allow those lines to travel and stay with here. So maybe if I need to, I'll get a plug or some sort of a port. I did do the hydraulic release function on there. It is for the auxiliary, so it's hard to say if that's enough to release in the whole system. I'm going to be very careful when I do open that up. But I got a feeling that that should be sufficient to release the pressure in the system. I did see a lot of this stuff kind of go limp when I did the release. So, and that's to prepare for the auxiliary pressure. So I think that, you know, if you see this part here go release, that means that it really kind of just released the pressure in all of these lines that came up here. The other thing is, for safety too, is that when we were trying to put pressure into here, if you remember, I was telling you that it's spraying out here. So that means that this area can't hold as much pressure as is required to even turn the hydraulic motor or the actuator. So I think we're pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is I got these two pins out. Luckily I bought a tool like this a long time ago, like years ago, so that came in handy for the pins. But this video is to kind of help us remember what we're going to put together. So I'm going to grab these pins, and yeah, it looks like I got one more on this side here. And yeah, you know what, that's kind of an interesting one. Not sure if you just have to drive that out. I would imagine we just have to kind of pound that pin out and we should be okay. These zerks, the question is, do the zerks need to be removed? Yeah, that's a good question. It might not hurt to remove them, or at least yeah, no, they would have to be flush, if anything. I think they can stay in there because there's no way that they're gonna ride and touch a pin. That would be too ridiculous. And what else we got? Maybe this guy here. Maybe this bolt's gotta come out as well, because that's gonna drive through some sort of a shaft. Okay, so I think that that's all. If we can get this, we'll do this one first because it looks the easiest. Get that one, see how it looks, and then focus on the bottom one. All right, wish me luck. Alright, so I've got these hydraulic lines disconnected. It was true, there was zero pressure in there. And also I got the main pin out, as you know, so I'm really kind of down to the moment of truth, is just to knock this one pin out. So I think if I knock that one out, then we are fully separated from the bucket and this little hydraulic actuator down here. So I think the answer, and you can see actually, like as soon as I relieve that, disconnect that, it's now able to gravity drain, right? Because the air is able to come into the line. So maybe I'll wipe that up. And yeah, so the trick here is all of this apparatus is definitely probably pulling on that pin a little bit. So I might have to relieve some pressure and just kind of push up on the bucket a little bit until we kind of get a little bit of this loosened up. I don't feel like starting the machine and trying to move it at this point. It's conceivable if I was to maybe put it, I could push it forward, the hydraulic a little bit, but I think, to be honest with you, I think we're in a good shape here. Everything was nice and loose for the main pin, so that means everything is pretty well balanced. I was able to get that out just with a piece of wood. So let's see, I'm gonna bang on this guy a bit, see if it just starts moving on its own. And maybe I think I'll also try to block or strap this up here, so when this pin comes loose, this piece doesn't flop one way or the other. So I think that should be pretty safe. I don't believe the bucket's gonna pivot or twist in any way, in any kind of dangerous way. So we're pretty good. And then I'm gonna put an extra strap on the thumb here and pull it up even tighter after we get this detached. All right. Move on to this next step. Okay, as you can see, we are successful. I think we're fully detached from the bucket at the moment. Lines, pins, so this should be able to pull right out. We will have to do something here to kind of hold that up. Otherwise, this part here, oh look at that, it's raining outside. Sure glad I decided to do it this way. All right, so oh man. Okay, so yeah, now I think what we need to do is work on getting these guys all set up. I might even just kind of lift all that up and put a piece of wood between, and that'll hold almost like as if it was the metal pin, but just the wood, and that should hold those pieces up. Get another strap on here. And I think we can fire the unit up and try to pull it out. So you know what's cool is when you take things apart, you learn how they work. That's what I like. So check this out here. You see how there's those spiral grooves? So that's kind of how the grease is finding its way in there. So they cut an internal thread on the inside of this. And so when you push the grease in, it gets all the way around. So I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. I thought maybe it just kind of shot in the zerk, but it actually has a channel and a path, which is really cool. Okay, so we're gonna get this thing here secured up a bit more. These here are a little bit sketchy. There's no pressure on these hoses. These are nice and loose here. Feel pretty good about that. So the only thing I want to do is get the bottom of this here set up nice so that it's not moving around too much. All right, this is the moment of truth. I've got this bad boy all strapped up. The Bobcat's got a sling on it now, but you gotta be careful because when that Bobcat's wounded, it's the most dangerous. So yeah, so anyhow, we're gonna try to back this thing out. I think we're fully separated. The pin's out there, pin's out here. This is not gonna drop, this will not drop, that's strapped up. So I think we're in good shape to weasel this guy back out. I think everything's in pretty good shape. I don't see much of what can happen. This part here is the most stable because that's the hoses that needs to be. So that's all linked up. I don't think we're gonna see much of anything. If this sketchy one goes for some reason, I don't think it will because now it's just really giving some light balance. I think we can just back out. I think we're good to go. This has been so far a success. be great if there was zero backlash in the house as it swivels. That would be great. But the lever force might be too big. Okay, so there we are. Now we can focus on this inside the garage. This shackle is bent a little bit. You can kind of see how right here, you see there's a gap there. So we've got some torsion that happened here. I'm gonna, get a big wrench on this and see. It could be just that the shackle twisted, and that this part could, we'll throw some lube in there, see if we can't twist it out. But yeah, this is it. This is the one that we need to figure out. So we'll take that off. And this coupler here, this hydraulic gear has got to be very simple. It's just got to be, some bushings and a channel. So I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, you can see this thing really kind of peeled up. It's pretty nuts. Yeah. Okay, so we have some success. So we can now get this bad boy back where it's supposed to be, and I think we're going to be in a good shape.